I still can't get over the entrance into hole one where everybody walked up. They had the like almost like the Jumbotron that had the LED showing the player. And I mean, it was the first round when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is something this is different.
Yeah. The bazookas was special, man.
It was great.
You know, the local hero, the face of the country comes out and he quiets them all down and starts doing the skull. Mm-hmm. It was awesome, man. Yeah. It reminded me of WWE.
That's exactly what it reminded. Now, see, I couldn't picture what I was thinking. Do we see this in like almost like an NBA All-Star game or something? We see something similar, but that's exactly what it was. It was like The Rock coming out, dude. It was so good.
The bazooka should have had a. Yeah, and he comes running up.
He easily should have.
So good.
Oh, so you awesome. No? That's if someone would have broke the glass and that would have happened, I'd have lost it.
Yo, what up, everyone? Welcome back to the Players Meeting, a Win Dummies production. This is episode number 21. Can't believe we're already here. All done within this year. In this episode, we take a look back at the European Disc Golf Festival, and we're going to answer many questions. Is this the greatest event of all time? The greatest venue that we've ever seen on tour? We'll talk Ricky's performance. Was it one of the best rounds we've ever seen? Is the Beast officially back? Is Missy Gannon underrated? Where's Silva? Lots to unpack in this episode. If you didn't know, you can find us, our podcast, anywhere you get your podcasts. Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube. If you have not, please subscribe to the YouTube at Disc and Deals Coverage. You'll find all the Players Meeting podcasts and get to look at this handsome face. Plus, the other Win Dummies. Speaking of the Win Dummies, let's bring those puppies in. The one-time world champ, Chris Smith, a.k.a. Smitty, and the step pup master, Mr. Ronnie Unruh. Fellas, everyone is here tonight. It's nice to have everyone back. The gang is back. How y'all feeling this evening?
I'm great, man. 21 episodes is crazy. That just shows you how jam-packed this disc golf season has been. And we're pretty much right in the middle of it now. So just past the middle. So we're probably I haven't done the math, but we're probably going to get over 35.
It's going to be a lot. I think it's going to be the only thing that's going to rival the nights that I've spent in hotels this year. So we're plowing through.
Yeah, man. It's been fun, though. And disc golf has been fun. And it wasn't the European Open. It was the Estonian Open. We'll just correct that so people that were watching can get back.
European Disc Golf Festival.
There we go.
That's what I said.
Maybe. We'll just roll with it.
I said a lot of things. You weren't listening. The ADHD got in on you, Smitty.
True story. So,
all right,
yeah.
Well, let's start where we always start. What's poppin'? What's been happening around the world of disc golf? This week, what was poppin'? The European Disc Golf Festival. Smitty, let's get into it.
In Estonia.
Yeah, that's right.
In Estonia. That's right.
Yeah, man, it was a killer event for sure. Let's just talk ladies side real quick. Round one, Heide Line jumped out with a 9-down first round after taking a double bogey 7 on the first hole. Evelina was in second, Missy 6, Tatar 9, Annika Sten was in 10th, and Silva, one of our favorites for the run for the title there, was nowhere to be found. Second round, Heide still held the lead. Missy did cut the gap down to 5, put her in second place. Evelina slipped on a bad round, ended up falling back to 5th. Stein found herself tied for 8th. And Kristen Tatar, who we often refer to as the greatest female we've seen, sitting in 10th place. It's all setting up an exciting round 3. I lost a bet. I thought Tatar was still in it. Other people were sure that she wasn't.
She was only 8 strokes back, right?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about
only
these.
8 shots back.
Let's talk a little bit about
from
these
7.
first two.
She came back from 7 2 weeks ago when there was 2 people in front of her and one nobody trusted at the top of the leaderboard to begin with. This leaderboard was a little bit different, and she had 7 people to jump. I was the person who won that bet, just in case the listeners are wondering, and it played out, not too dissimilar to what I'd already said. Heidi Line didn't. She was going to have to really just fall apart to facilitate Kristen coming back. She shot a couple under, which is, was already going to be way too much for Kristen to overcome, and then expecting that many people to just not play well on the same day is hard. Could Kristen have went out there and shot 10 or 12 or 13 under par? We know it's possible, but it was going to take something, monumental like that to make it happen.
Yeah, I think at the European Open, she backed her way into a victory there. She didn't really take it. These other gals opened the door and let her come in. And I mean, she found herself in the same spot. And like you said, there's more players, but out of everybody in front of her, the only one that I really trusted to not possibly tank was Missy Gannon. I figured Missy would shoot a fairly decent round. But, I think what Kristen she shot 2 down as well, I think, the last round. So
a few under, yeah. And I think that was another factor, right, that we discussed was her not, in that round in was a Crow Call or wherever it was, she was on that lead card. She started the round in 3rd. They got to watch her make a couple birdies early, and then all of a sudden, they start hearing the footsteps a little bit, and they're, the pressure starts to bust the pipes. In this situation, she's playing a group in front of them. If they're not watching scores religiously, they probably don't even know what's going on, and they're kind of in their own bubble, allowed to just to go get it.
2 groups in front of them.
2 groups, yeah. She was the top person on card 3, yeah.
Yeah, but in today's day and age, man, if she comes out and just blew circles all the way across that front 9, and these chicks are looking at it and they're like, "Oh my God," there's still that, I think, a little bit of fear, but none of that happened, so it doesn't matter.
There would have been shockwaves, yeah. If she goes out there and she's 6 under par on the front 9, all of a sudden 15 and 20 footers for all those ladies gets, exponentially harder.
Yeah, she actually started 4 for 5 and then I think got a double or something like that. So,
yeah.
And it kind of killed the momentum, but
yeah. So, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't catch much of the women's action. I wasn't getting up at that early in the morning. That's for dang sure. I did catch, once again, the last few holes of each round, and that's about it for me. But let's talk about this 3rd round. So Evelina birdied holes 11 through 16. That's pretty amazing, man, to end up 8 down in the clubhouse. Okay, there's video of her sitting on the steps, getting ready to go sign autographs. And as she's doing that, Missy Gannon, doink, inside the circle on 15. Okay, so now she's only a couple back. Go to hole 16. Missy 3 putts to tie it up with Evelina, with 17, which is lined with OB on both sides, and 18, which is the tee pad is much shorter for the women, but it's still no gimme. There's OB everywhere. Long story short, Missy didn't get another birdie on those last 2 holes. They go into a playoff, which was hole 1. Imagine that baby for a playoff. Boy, that'd be nasty, right? And it only took 1 hole. I could have guaranteed the outcome, what was going to happen going into the playoff. I mean, we all know what's going to go on. Evelina's going to get herself into a putt that she's got to make, and she's not going to make it. So
it's it's hard to watch her struggle through that stuff. You see a little bit of her male counterpart, and we'll talk about him later. I'm almost certain you see a lot of similarities. What's going on with Goose Gossage? Mm-hmm. That they just throw it so much better than 99% of the field, and struggle to get the maximum out of it.
Yeah, that's too bad, man, because I'd love to see her finish one off. So there we go. there's our champion. I think this is as good a time as any to talk about her being what Lucas said is underrated.
Is she underrated? I think she's the second-rated player. She's the second-ranked player in the world, I believe.
Okay. Well, I guess when I say underrated, like when you think of the top women, do you immediately put Missy there though?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, she's big money Missy. I mean, you don't get that reputation, you don't get that nickname for being someone that we can't count on, especially over the last, let's call it 3 years. Missy is really, I mean, she's among the 4 or 5 best players in the world for the female division, without question.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, no doubt. But I'm also going to say, going into any tournament, I'm never thinking that Missy's going to dominate and run away with it. You know, I'm going to pick Tatar, or I'm going to pick whoever, and she's like the Kyle Klein of the women's division. She's gonna be in the mix, man, every single time for sure. And I think it's just because she knows her limits. She doesn't try to go big off the tee. She goes where she needs to go, and she's good around the green.
And maybe if that's what you're saying, Lucas, I mean, she's not flashy. I mean, nothing about her game is like ultra flashy or anything like that, but she's captain consistency. You know, she's always right there in the mix.
Yeah, I think Smitty kind of alluded to what I was getting at is you don't really think about Missy as she's going to take this one down. That's never on my mind. Now, I do have a question though. If Missy loses that playoff from the lead that she had, what's the narrative then? How are we feeling? Does it change anything about the way we feel about Missy?
I wouldn't change for me. I mean, I think she's solidified herself as one of the 5 best players in the world. And, you know, look, if anyone out there tells you they've never lost a lead or they've never spit one up at the end, they've either not put themselves in that situation enough times or they're lying to you. You know, it happens to even the best players that have ever played.
Well, and possibly the story becomes not Missy choking, but Evelina birdieing 11 through 16, going 8 down.
And that's unfortunate that kind of gets now because she misses the putt in the playoff, that gets a little bit lost. But that was a fantastic round by Evelina. I mean, that was
how far back was she? Anybody know how far back she was going into the third?
6, I think, maybe something like that.
He wins that. That's the same thing Krista Tatar did the week before.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing.
She was 5 back going into the final
Missy
round.
started with 3 behind. So,
yeah. So, pretty interesting stuff for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's switch gears, though.
We're going all the way to 5th gear with that first round, aren't we?
Put that baby in overdrive, man. Rick, oh my gosh, dude. 16 down. I think anybody, if you do disc golf at all, you know what went down.
I made a comment to you. We saw each other Saturday at a tournament, and I made a comment to you. It was the most amazingly boring thing I've ever seen. Right? The whole time, it's just like every birdie was expected. You know, I've never seen someone shoot that kind of round where you're just like, yeah, duh. It looked like it was going to be 16 or 17 under par from the second he teed off. It was unbelievable.
And yeah, dude, look at some of these things that a disc golf fanatic came up with. 3rd highest rated MPO round. The other 2 belong to Paul, right? The one forever ago at the Memorial, which at that point, you know, that was a long time ago. So the ratings weren't where they are today. And the other one was a beast of a round, and that was at Maple Hill, the other one that's ahead of Rick. But yeah, Rick had highest rated round in his career, obviously. Highest rated round ever in Europe. Highest rated round 1 ever. Highest in the last 10 years. And the highest disc golf pro tour round which isn't surprising because if it's been 10 years, Disc Golf Pro Tour's only been around, what, three?
3, 4.
3 or 4?
Yeah. This is a cool stat.
Incredible.
Double
Dude has
digits now.
10, 1,100 rated rounds.
That's a crazy thought, to have 10 1,100 rated rounds. That's a wild stat. Some more stats from that round. I believe he hit circle 1 in regulation 15 times. He was perfect in circle 1, and he made his only attempt from circle 2.
Mm-hmm.
He drilled that thing too, and he
putter didn't hit the ground after he missed his last practice putt.
and just look at
Wild.
this. Look at this face. That's what you saw the whole round. That dude was not only kicking everybody's butt, he was also having the most fun at that disc golf tournament, which those two probably go hand in hand, I'm guessing. But
yeah,
that dude was completely relaxed the entire time.
Well, when you're throwing it to 12 feet all day, it's easy to get pretty comfortable.
It's a good day.
But he was, it was insane. Like I said, it was boring. It was boring, but it was amazingly boring. And it was the best round I've ever seen. The only one I compared it to was maybe Paul at the toboggan course. That one was a pretty insane round too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to have an 11-19 rated round now, after the ratings have after the top ratings have kind of came back a little bit. We don't have Paul rated 1060 anymore. To have that now is even more impressive, after the booms kind of happened already.
And that round just stomped a mud hole in the rest of the hot rounds the other 2 days. It was the best by 4 strokes.
And he beat the field that day by
6.
Yeah, incredible. And that shot on 18 was inches from being the icing on the cake, man. That thing made me jump up and I literally screamed.
Yeah, it looked in. Like,
yeah.
Still, I've seen the replay probably 10 times and I'm yet to understand how it missed the basket.
It was incredible. So round 2, right? Ezra, who was so far back, comes in with the hot round at 12 down to move up only 54 places. Right? Goose, we just talked about him a second ago. He goes 11 down to make the lead card. And Simon, who was on the lead card the day before, shoots a great round, 11 down and rebounds. What did you guys think of Simon that first round? It was uncomfortable to watch, man.
Yeah, I think Simon's, if I'm guessing, I think Simon has a lot of stuff going on in his life, and disc golf isn't the most important one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, when he airballed that putt late and then ran over to the other side of the green and putted and then ran up there I was like, oh my gosh, dude, just chill just a little.
Yeah.
It was hard to watch for the
his
guy.
Focus was very strange. It seems like he had a few bad breaks or a few bad shots early on and just kind of checked out, honestly.
Well, he always says if he's not having fun, he doesn't want to be there.
I mean, like I said, it seemed that way for a large portion of this season to me, where there's just probably other things going on. He has commitments on the disc golf course. He needs to be out there for his sponsors and for other various reasons. But I think back home is probably more on his priority list right now, and you can kind of see it in his play. He's really not been much of a factor for the majority of the season.
Well, I've watched him on vlogs and whatever and other podcasts, and he just talks about how he just doesn't even play, even when he's at home, outside of, a few practice rounds. Well, not practice rounds, but like course preview rounds or fun rounds, weird rounds. So, yeah.
Some content for his channel.
Yep. But he's still maybe one of the greatest talents we have.
For
just
sure.
to be able to do that. So then round 3, 3 people go 12 deep, including the Beast, Jona Heinonen, and of all people, Gannon Burr.
Color me shocked.
Never count them out.
And I didn't get to watch any of it live, round 3. And I can't not look. Like, I always snuck into my mom's bedroom and looked in the closet before Christmas, to see what I was getting. Ruin the surprise and have to think about it for a month. But yeah, I couldn't wait to get home and see how it all went down. And
I tried to not. I was busy doing some other non-disc golf related activities on Sunday morning, and my co-host here, Lucas, was blowing me up about how awesome it was. So I had no choice but to look.
It's like one of the only tournaments I've watched all year, and you both weren't watching.
I happened to get home just in time to see they were walking to the green on hole 18 when I got home, and unfortunately got to see maybe the least impressive part by the Beast. But I caught it all on the replay, and man, it got exciting.
Boy, it did. Well, I think it's hole 16. Paul had another putt from just outside of the circle's edge that dead square top of the band. And that could have been huge too, because he didn't miss the one on 18 by much.
Mm-hmm.
So, and do you think Ricky doesn't make that from 27 feet?
No, that's what I was going to ask you guys. Did it just delay the winner? Another 20 seconds is all it did. Because in that situation, I can't imagine Rick missing. He's just never been that guy to miss when the moment's the biggest. I mean, have to look no further than what he's named after, the Raptor legs, when he did that to Paul on the 72nd or the last green of that World Championship. So, it's one of those deals where I think he was making it. I also don't think that's a choke by Paul. There's only one miss there that's acceptable to me, and that's hitting that band. If he'd occasioned or something like that, then he'd have been like, maybe the moment got big for him, but it just happened to play out that way.
Yeah. Well, let's give the man his kudos.
He's on a heck of a run, man.
I love that award ceremony. Like, isn't that so awesome? That thing is so cool.
They just didn't have Terry Miller run right up to him and, how do you feel? I mean, he had time to gather himself and get up there and think, and 2,000 people watching him, cheering for him. What an event, man.
Yeah.
So I want to go back, though, and just say that I got to watch that whole round, and, it must be stated that Rick was in a little bit of pain, right? So it was something that they kept coming back to. His shoulder was giving him some grief. He missed a couple putts late that you don't see Rick miss. So does he miss 18? I honestly don't think so either. When that moment is there, Rick is, I think, the clutchest dude in the game. But man, it would have been awesome to see him have to make it.
I'll call him the second clutchest guy.
Who do you like first?
Paul McBeth, dude. Paul McBeth has 2 of the most iconic putts we've ever seen.
Yeah, because he didn't make that one on Sunday. Yeah, Paul he's been that, and that's it goes back to our earlier point with someone if you have that. We only know he's missed a couple of those because he's had so many opportunities, right? What was the old saying about Michael Jordan?
Yeah, that's true too.
He missed 25 game winners or something like that, but we don't remember that, right? We know him as the guy with his hand stuck up in the air in Salt Lake City, and Paul's been that guy for the majority of his career, and just did happen to not make this one, but it would have been nice to have for Rick to have to try, but
yeah,
I think Rick hearts that thing, and we get the same result at the end.
Well, we've all heard that you can't win a tournament on the first round, right? that happen this weekend?
I don't know, man. I've always heard that too, and I've always bought into it. But Rick went a long ways to winning it the first day on Friday for sure.
Cool little graphic I made. I stole all the results off of PDGA. I kicked out the first round, and this is people's score just on the last 2 rounds. So the last 2 rounds, Rick shot 104, Paul Macbeth 98, Yona Heinonen 99, Simon Lizotte 100, some guy we haven't heard of 100, Goose 102. I mean,
yeah,
that man. Even
so, 8 people shoot better than him the final 3 rounds, and his first round. Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought it was 3. Oh, okay. I see. So, and his performance on day 1 was so dominant. I mean, honestly, man, that's crazy. I mean, he didn't choke, right? He didn't ever shoot bad. So that's kudos to him. But man, that first round really set the stage, didn't it? Made things a lot easier for that dude.
I think it won the tournament for him.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, he went 16 under day 1 and 16 under the last 2 rounds. So it's an incredible pace for one, right? It's a wild pace. You average nearly 11 under par around, and those scores. Go back to that graphic for a second and look at some of these numbers. Paul Macbeth at 98, Yona at 99, Simon at 100. This isn't your local par 54 beauty, right? This isn't the park course down the street. This is a Pro Tour course, and it's a par 60 golf course. Those guys just absolutely, when they got it rolling on that course, they whacked it.
Yeah, they shredded, man. They absolutely shredded. So, a couple more things here that I stole off of the interwebs. Came off of these guys' Instagram, and what caught my attention was not one of them talked about how great the tournament was, or the payout course was, or the course, or any of that. It's all about, I mean, here's Simon Lizotte. This guy's played disc golf for whatever. He says, this stage feels special. I've never been part of something like this. Gannon Burr, fairly new to it, right? What's he say down here? He says, this event was crazy. I felt like a true professional athlete. So, and
if you guys, I don't know how much you guys watch the PGA Tour, but just some of the things that I noticed that was there that you see on the PGA Tour, the walkways up over where the stands walk, and just little things like that. You're like, ooh, and you only see those at the big time professional golf tournaments at the majors, right? But you saw that here. It just had the feel of something that was different than what we've seen. It wasn't the most amazing golf course there's ever been. There was a couple of incredible shots, right? There was a couple of incredible holes, and look no further than the tee on hole 1 with the amphitheater behind the stadium seating behind them. But the show was different than anything I've ever seen, right? The people, just the venue in itself, of everything, the optics of it, it looked like what I think we hope disc golf is someday going to get to, where that's every event. And I think this was just a preview and a taste of what we might have coming, 10 years down the road.
Just some things that I caught my eye from the event. The Mando sign that was bigger than any tree on the course. You weren't missing that, baby. You were going to know, right? That was awesome. Mm-hmm. Looking out off of hole 1 and being able to clearly and easily see the fairway because of those gigantic blue or red, whatever color they were on 1, and then to see the outline of 18 coming in because it was the other color. And clearly they know where they got to be. Incredible. All of the advertising all over the course. It was not behind the people were behind it. And, I think kind of like ball golf, I feel like they use the advertising to hide what's beyond the fence.
Mhm.
So we don't see that it's right in the middle of a town. I sure as heck didn't feel like I was in the middle of a town, except for when we were almost hitting that greenhouse, whatever that was.
Yeah.
So
Well, I didn't even know it was right on the water until we saw the drone shots. Right, the water was literally right behind that stage. Yeah, I know what you're saying, and there was just so many things. I still can't get over the entrance into hole one where everybody walked up. They had the like almost like the jumbotron that had the LED showing the player. And I mean, it was the first round when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is something this is different.
Yeah.
the bazookas was special, man.
It was great.
The local hero, the face of the country comes out and he quiets them all down and starts doing the skull.
Mhm.
It was awesome, man.
Yeah.
It reminded me of WWE.
That's exactly what it reminded. Now, see, I couldn't picture what I was thinking. Do we see this in like almost like an NBA All-Star game or something? We see something similar, but that's exactly what it was.
That's it.
It was like The Rock coming out, dude. It was so good.
The bazooka should have had a. And
Yeah.
then he comes running up.
He easily should have.
So good.
Oh,
So
you didn't know? That's if someone would have broke the glass and that would have happened, I'd have lost it.
It was awesome. So something else I thought was kind of fun and interesting was this. If you watch Goose and Ezra in the practice round, Goose ripped one up there and broke the sign. So they frame it and give it to him during the tournament.
That's awesome.
What a cool gesture. And let's talk about Goose for a second. Is there anybody in the world that throws the Frisbee harder than this guy does?
No. He throws it so hard both ways every single time.
That Frisbee hurts every time.
You can hear it.
It's unreal. Yeah, it's
Every time.
the most audible snap in the professional game. I mean, every time it sounds like somebody snapping in your eardrums. It's crazy.
Yeah, and like you alluded to earlier, if he could finish a hole, he would be in the mix every single week. And you saw it this week. He got on the lead card, and we kind of saw what happened. He had several that were in that 18 to 22 foot range that the best in the world can't miss, and he unfortunately struggled to get him in.
And it comes and it goes with him. Saturday putted it great. For the majority of Sunday, he putted it great. You can tell when he's nervous, because when he's nervous, the routine gets faster, the stroke gets faster, and you almost just know when he's not going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And just by the way he sets up, and anytime that he kind of relaxed, went into his routine, and went all the way through it, when he makes them right in the heart too. That's what's really great. He's not just slopping them in. He either hearts it or he bangs it into the front of the face mask. And it seems like this is the only two results.
And on those Prodigy baskets they're playing on, I mean, I would never be short on those things. I would throw that thing as fast as I could every time into the basket. I mean, Rick was that. I think that was part of the success round one. Is that putter had some pace on that sucker, because there's no worry of it cutting through. You got to pound them in there. So yeah, it's just we've all missed them. Right on. I think that takes care of what's popping.
All right. Let's move into a different segment. We didn't do one last week because Ronnie was absent. This week, we're going to roll into our top five. So, Smitty, tell me what we're looking at this week for our top five.
Well, this will be kind of interesting because I sent a message to Ronnie and I said, hey, dude, we need a top five. What do you want to do? We didn't have any idea. So I said, all right, let's do the 5 holes we're looking forward to this weekend. Right, Ledgestone, pretty cool place. We're very familiar with Lake Eureka. I don't think it's been changed. I looked at the caddy book; it looked very similar to everything it's been, and from everything I can find, all rounds are at Lake Eureka.
Yep, that's what I saw too.
Couple new pins it looked like maybe, but that was about it. Looks like the majority of and just a couple of just minor changes. Everything looks pretty much the same to what we've come to know up there.
Which I've kind of missed that, being familiar with what's going to happen and what we're going to be coming into. It's been we knew the beast, but we didn't know anything about the monster. We couldn't find jack crap about last week's.
Oh yeah, nothing.
That's my knock on last week's event.
I think they kept it under wraps on purpose.
It almost worked to their favor though, right? Because when we finally got our eyeballs on it, we were like, "Whoa!" I think it was good for us to not know, and maybe to their detriment now, because look what we've come to expect. How do they top that next year?
Let's back up for a second. That's where the European Open's going down next year. Is that course good enough for a major?
I thought that course is going to be the European Open.
Because Worlds is going to be at the Beast and the Monster. So the European Open is going to move to here, 4 rounds.
I
think the venue.
Quite frankly, no.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But it's temporary. They can adjust it. They can tweak it. They can change things as they see fit.
I hate to say no, for fear that the venue would not be as awesome if they were to do something different. I would rather have that venue, play that course with that venue, than have a better course and not have that kind of atmosphere. Can you imagine the European Open on that course with all those people?
Well, it is where it's at, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Can you imagine the environment though for a European Open at that place?
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
more people
we
there
got last weekend. Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I guess it'll be fun.
I guess we'll find out. Let's talk about Eureka Lake.
Well, hang on. One more thing. I don't think I have a problem with a major course not being super duper long and tough. I think that was enjoyable to watch guys attack and have lots of putts they had to make.
I don't know that I want to major on that golf course.
Well, you're getting one, and you're going to like it.
I hope they make some changes.
Just a few.
All right, let's get into our top 5. The 5 holes that we're looking forward to at Ledgestone this weekend. Lake Eureka. I'll start first, show you my number 5 hole. And then we'll give you Ronnie's number 5 hole. We'll just discuss them a little bit and kind of see why we picked them and why. And I went with hole 17. Not because it's the most awesome hole, but it's got the most pucker power at Lake Eureka. I think it's 335 feet, slightly downhill to a pretty dang small green. So pretty exciting hole, I think, coming down the stretch.
Yeah, I agree.
Ronnie?
The fans back there for sure. It's a 2 or 4 hole, but it's a great hole.
It's a fun one. I just think of the island at our local course, which is only 225 feet, and it's twice as big as that island, and people struggle getting it on that sucker. Ronnie, you went with hole 4.
Yeah, I went number 4, man. Tight tunnel shot, downhill, all the trouble in the world behind the basket. We've seen some wild rollaways on this hole, some rolls out of bounds, and then you have the woods left. And it's not maybe the greatest hole ever, but it's cool to look at. It's one that I would want to play, even though I don't know that I could make a 2 on it. But I love that hole.
No, I think you can make a 2 on it. I think what makes this hole is you have to throw the disc straight, and as soon as it gets to that slope, I think it's way downhill. And so I don't think distance is the problem. I think the problem is getting the disc to stop close enough that you don't have that scary putt on that hill. So
you see a lot of that's the only thing you see a lot of layups on that hole.
Mm-hmm. And you even see people playing for the woods off the tee. So no, I'm with you. It's a cool.
And then I got number 9 as my 4th best hole out there. Again, maybe not the greatest hole ever. 355 feet for the Disc Golf Pro Tour, even to an island, is, maybe not the most difficult hole they ever play. But when you're throwing through a bridge out into a field with the basket out there and there's OB everywhere, I mean, I don't know. I've never thrown it from one end of a bridge through the other end of it. So it seems like a pretty fun time to me.
Seems like an interesting hole. This is where we got that fantastic drone shot last year, like my favorite drone shot ever, where it was up above and we could see how far that disc actually moved left and how late it moved left. I didn't realize there was 2 pins on that left pin. And
I believe the right one is the one they end up playing the last day because it's a little more difficult, right? That left pin's a little easier to access. You can kind of throw it out there and let it hook a little bit more.
Yeah, I guess I thought it was always an A.
Which is the right one?
Yeah.
It might be on typical Ledgestone layout because we also have 2 rounds at Northwoods Black as well.
Right.
So maybe that's that B pin is something we haven't seen since Worlds.
Oh, I wonder, has every hole so far that we've seen have 2 pins?
There are a lot that have 2 pins. I'm not aware of all of them do.
Okay.
17 does, but 4 doesn't.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that 17B is a brand new one.
Okay, there we go. And 4 probably doesn't have a pin because I don't know where else you're going to put one. You got one of the coolest greens on the course. So
yeah.
No, I do like this hole. I think it'd be fun to try to throw through that bridge. I'm pretty dang sure I would hit the last pillar on one side or the other. So I went with number 2.
Yeah.
As my 4th hole that I'm looking forward to. Great 2-shot hole, downhill, turning to the disc to the right. That has got to be a tough shot. If you don't have a backhand or a flick, you better have a good backhand roller because, man, the farther you can get right, the easier that upshot is. I don't think it'd be an issue for anybody to throw a putter to the bottom of that hill. But then just think of that second shot, man. Just a fantastic disc golf hole.
I think it's a testament to we don't have to have 900-foot par 4s to challenge the best players in the world. This is a 600-foot hole that all of them could, if there wasn't anything in the way, that could throw 2 putters and birdie it 9 times out of 10. Right? But the hole's designed around that lake, and with all that OB on the right, there's that pavilion up there too, and it shapes that direction. Plus you have the slope on the hill down to the water. This is a hole you see a lot of bogeys on. You see a lot of bogeys on this hole. I think, like I said, I think it's just a testament to a good hole can be short.
Yeah.
And still test the players.
Yeah, I love it. Look familiar?
We've seen it once before.
No reason to talk about it. I love it. I love the fact that I don't think they can see the pin from the tee. I think that adds to it. And looky there.
I would say great minds think alike, but I don't know if that applies.
No, don't put me in that category. Here we go.
I got hole 13, man. This is another one where now this is the opposite, right? This one is long. It's 1,000 feet. It's 5 par, but it's still really technical. It's a technical 1,000 feet. You gotta place 3 really good shots to make a birdie. This is a very difficult 4. At 1,000 feet, that's not really that hard for most Pro Tour par 5s, but another hole where we see a lot of 6s and 7s and some others will definitely be had this weekend too.
Yeah, what I like about this hole is the tee shot. The farther you go, the harder the second shot is.
Mm-hmm.
If you just barely get over the water, your second shot is way more attackable. How would you like to be a lefty on this sucker?
Well, I don't know that I'd like to be anything. What is it, 318,
15?
315 feet just to clear. And this hole plays into a traditional headwind off the right. So, I mean, for guys like us who throw it 400 to 420 feet, you got a 20-mile-an-hour headwind. All of a sudden, that's one ultra intimidating tee shot.
Yeah, she's a beast.
I love how specific the landing zones are. You really like to really get up and down to make it easy on yourself. It's a very specific shot placement, and that's what makes it whole awesome.
It is awesome. It is fantastic. This is a beaut too. Got to hit that gap. You can hyzer over it, I think. You have been able to in the past, but these dudes just uncork them through this gap, get down there and try to get an easier upshot to that little bitty postage stamp green with the creek just to the left of it and the schmuck to the right. Such a cool hole.
Mm-hmm. Love that hole.
Yeah. It's a good one. Well, looky there. Look what my favorite hole is. Well, looky there.
Yeah.
Is this number one? Are we on number one yet?
This is our favorite hole on the course.
Okay.
This is our favorite ones. Yeah, and I love 8. You say you can throw over that gap. Well, humans can't throw over those trees, but we've seen some of those freaks out there do it, but we've seen some incredible tee shots on this hole. Some clutch putts have went down on this one in the past. It's one of those iconic holes out there at Eureka Lake, and 13 and 8 I think are the two most iconic holes out there. If you remove the water tower hole, which I mean I'm surprised that neither one of us had the water tower hole. If it was a little bit better hole, we probably would have. It's kind of just a dump hyzer for those guys. But
I'm wondering if they didn't put a temporary pin over on the left side of the water tower or an alternate. Because that's another one where I would hate to be left-handed, but if they had a left and a right option, woo!
Yeah, that'd be cool. It does seem like they've added some additional pins for the tournament, though, since they're playing Lake Eureka 4 times and not Northwood.
That just seems like that would be an easy, cool adjustment to do that. Because I think the OB, the rope, I think, goes around both sides of it. So I hope they just didn't put it longer and behind it or leave it the same. But
it's one of those holes where, one of those disc golf sounds that everybody knows is one of them. It's that water. Bong!
And always rolls OB.
Always comes back forever. Yeah.
But yeah, if you're thinking Lake Eureka, there's 3 holes that stick out in your mind. The water tower hole for sure, the bridge hole for sure, and then that over the baseball field hole.
Baseball field for me, yeah. It's not a cool hole, but you got to push a long way if you're going for it, So
we're not going for it. We're all going to the right.
And even the one after the baseball hole, the baseball field hole, is one that nearly made my list. Hole 6, that
it was on mine for a little bit.
That zigzag par 5 is a great hole. But yeah, the baseball field hole, Paul McBeth sticking in the squares for not an ace at that time. If it happened today,
ace. Yep.
It's a 1.
Pretty cool. I can't wait to watch it go down, man.
I'm excited.
Here's my only thing. I love getting up in the morning and watching disc golf before I had to go do something. Sometimes in these afternoons, this is going to be kicking off at 3 o'clock our time. So there's going to be other things I'm going to be supposed to be doing, which I'm not going to do. So
I'm with you, man. I found that I really like the European stuff. I like waking up and having breakfast and watching disc golf on the weekend, or I like the West Coast stuff, where all of a sudden now it's past the time that I'm doing anything. I can watch disc golf in prime time. I found out that's how I like it the best too.
We kind of got spoiled there for a few weeks. So
I will say I tend to watch more of the ladies when it's in the Midwest, because it's at kind of the good time slot to to watch, and I miss a lot of the men's I like the West Coast stuff too, but I do like to watch the ladies all the time, and it is hard in the European because they start so early for us to watch it. I have to get up at like 3:00 in the morning. Yeah.
I'd be interested to know their view count, European versus U.S. Now, it would be kind of skewed because a lot of people didn't have the Disc Golf Tour Pro or Network Pro, so they couldn't watch it at all. But I would bet you that views would be up early if everybody had access to it. Like you could see round one because it was on the YouTube, wasn't it, or was it not?
It was.
It was.
So you could be able to tell there, but an easy fix would just be, hey, let's let the dudes go first, let the ladies go second.
And they tried that. So last year, the year before, they played one tournament or two tournaments like that because the ladies had complained that, hey, nobody watches us because we're playing in the morning and everybody's at work or doing whatever. And then they flip-flopped it for a couple weeks and
nobody watched them.
for whatever reason, they went back to the way they did it. But yeah, on the weekends, especially this time of year where, look, a lot of disc golfers are playing disc golf tournaments.
Yep.
Right. I mean, it's been convenient that, hey, at 8:00 in the morning, I can watch the first 9 holes of the leaders before I go play whatever X tournament I'm at.
Seems like a good transition.
Yeah. So it looks like we are done with top 5. Let us move into weekly picks.
I wonder why Smitty was itching to get to these results.
Oh, yeah. I just want to remind everyone at home, we had no idea. We didn't know what the course was. We had no information. I just want that to be stated.
I'm with you, Lucas. I think whatever the results look like this week, we toss them out. They really didn't happen.
Yeah.
They really don't count for much. But we'll look at them anyway.
Yeah, let's take a peek, Smitty.
You guys sure you want to?
Yeah, love to.
All right, I'm down. So our stinks. Lucas went with Kyle Klein.
We were on Texas Roadhouse watch.
Pretty good
For a minute,
pick.
we were.
Yeah. Thank God Rick was there.
I woke up Sunday morning thinking there was an outside chance that I'd have a ribeye in my belly by Sunday evening.
He got hurt, man.
He did. He hurt his shoulder in that third round.
The front shoulder, the front side. So thank goodness he may have been pushing too.
Yeah, we'll see if he even plays this week. I would not be shocked if he misses it. And I went the Bazooka. Seemed like a pretty good pick. And Ronnie went with, who is that? Lowry Lettinen?
Yep.
Okay. Here we go, boys.
Yeah, I know I lost this one. Not even close.
Yeah, and somebody nailed it on the Bazooka.
It was a good call on the Bazooka. And it was something we all probably should have seen coming. He was tasked with a lot of extra duties, being the hometown guy and all that kind of stuff. So it was a good call.
Thank you. Oh, I thought I had a little graphic with a little curse on a Kyle Klein.
You do later, I think, or something.
Oh, good. I know there's one there somewhere.
Okay.
So then we went sleepers. And at least Big Germ can take a good pick because my guy looks like Ella Hansen. And Lucas' guy, who is that, Lucas?
It's Jesse Niemanen.
When I shared that in our chat, I wasn't even sure you knew who it was. So, and I got Roland Kerr is his name.
Oh.
How'd it play out?
Well, the fifth grader in the cool hat did really good. I don't know about everybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, another good pick by Smitty.
You got fifth?
Yeah.
He is 17 now, though, I heard. He's not 16 anymore.
Good.
Not that it matters, but just needed everyone to know. Hey, so tell me about this. Because Germ, yeah, please. Seems like I didn't do too bad here. I wanted the yellow. Fighting for yellows.
Somebody had to lose. And Lucas, your guy averages 45th place.
Okay.
So he did
what's Germ?
Exactly as good as he normally does.
Okay.
Well, Germ was an improvement off of his average finish.
Yes, he averages 38, so he moved up 2 places.
Ah, okay.
Bro, not even close. Get out of here with your yellows.
2 spots.
I can't get over these pictures, though. I don't know where we found this picture of Jesse Niemanen. It looks like the 5th grader in the middle drew it. Is what
yeah, honestly, I feel uncomfortable. Let's just move the slide.
Did he guest star in an episode of Game of Thrones or so? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. There's a good chance he did, actually. Okay, Ronnie, you've redeemed yourself.
Great pick, Ronnie.
Ronnie went Beast.
I thought I was going to have the winner, to be honest with you.
I went Mari. And Lucas went with Little Nick. Pretty good idea. Let's see how it played out. Uh-oh.
Oh, man. Oh, man. What a great week for me. But you know what's crazy is this is not the first time I've had all reds.
I was going to ask, was this the first triple red?
No, it happened early on. It's been a while. I have kind of been doing a little bit better. What's that, Smitty?
What are you talking about?
We got a curse alert.
The DDC curse victim. So It looks like, just a couple weeks ago, you guys were asking me, who's Mari Velman, right? What do we know about this guy? And I tried to tell you guys, this guy's a stud.
Yeah.
Catching on, huh?
Yeah.
I just wanted to go Team Estonia and see how it played out. I picked all Estonians. So
yeah, honestly, Ronnie, great pick in Maury, because I don't think Smitty would have ever picked him if you didn't say what you have said earlier.
No, I would have. I sorted him by rating, and I knew Albert was going to blow up, and Maury was the second best.
Okay.
So I'd have picked him, and I was going to pick Roland no matter what, because I watched a few holes of him the week before at the European Open and was really impressed with his game.
I think Mari might be the highest rated Estonian.
Well, maybe. Regardless, I knew that Albert Tom was going to stop.
And that was a good call on him. That was pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty
so Ronnie, thank you so much for stopping the 3 greens for Smitty, because we would have never heard the end of it.
That's fair, but I don't know what you're talking about. You still got 3 reds, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm used to this, though. It doesn't hurt as much.
That should almost be I don't know, if picking a sleeper or picking a stink that wins is Texas Roadhouse, I think that should be the 3 red punishment should be you owe us drinks from Sonic or something.
Okay, I like this. It's going to make me try a little harder. And this week, let's just move into it, because
hang on a second. This is 2 events in a row where Mr. Paul Macbeth has been a significant player in the disc golf tournament. Is he back? Is he rounding into shape?
Hasn't this been – he's been trending this direction for several months.
He's going to hit that putt to be back.
I don't think so, man. So, okay, what if Rick shoots 13 under par? Awesome first round.
Paul wins.
We probably have Paul Macbeth as a champion, right?
Yep.
Look, guys, I've been on the record for 4 months now saying that here in 3 weeks when we go to Virginia, that dude's going to be hoisting up his 7th World Championship trophy. 4 months ago, I was told I was crazy by, the guy to the, I don't know, which right or left or that way,
yeah.
right?
It's me. It's me, everyone. I did say that.
That there's no way that's happening, but I think we've been seeing this trend for quite a while, and now it's just a matter of time, really.
Dude, it's crazy that it is crazy that you called this, and honestly, that trajectory is so in the right direction. Oh, if this happens, you don't just get Roadhouse, you get whatever you want, mister.
It looks like he's peaking, right? It looks like he's peaking and ready to do it. And that final round, we finally saw what we come to know as beast mode. Right? Came out, took charge. Didn't matter what Ricky was doing. Ricky was helping him a little bit too, but Paul he had his eyes on what he needed, and unfortunately ended up being one or maybe two putts short. But it was quite and he started the round 6 behind, I believe. He started a long ways back.
Yeah, and one thing I think has helped him these last 3 events is you couldn't just throw the Frisbee anywhere you wanted to on any of the courses. You had to have control. You had to have touch around the green. And they're throwing a lot of mid-ranges on these courses that they don't throw a lot here in the U.S. He's going to throw 2 mid-ranges off the tee at Ledgestone. He might throw one on the bridge hole, and he might throw one on hole 17. He'll probably throw a putter, I'm guessing, a Luna. But, yeah, very interesting. And, yeah, I can't wait for 3 weeks. So he'll come in second right behind my guy.
Who's your guy?
Calvin.
Oh.
So speaking of, let's find our picks for this week. Let's see some Ledgestone picks.
Shall we?
Right. Yeah, let's do it. I did some research because
this will be good.
Yeah, so I'm going to start us off because that's what 3 Reds do. They go first.
Fair
so
enough.
I'm going to start with a shine, and this person I was going to go like the easy route and just say Vinny or Vinny because I think Vinny does win this, but I didn't do it. Because I really want Vinny to win, and I didn't want to curse him. So I went Chris Dickerson because he's the guy that got me out of my first sleeper, and I still haven't forgiven him. And so I'm hoping that if he does get cursed, I'm not going to be upset, but if he wins, I'm going to be happy. Did you pick him, Ronnie?
No, I'm glad you went against your instincts, though, because I'll give you my shine. I did take Calvin Heimberg.
Yeah.
And I do think Calvin Heimberg will win this week. He gave us one of the top moments of the year last year on that golf course. He did not win, but he was right there. I think Vinny puts it back in the win column this week.
I do like both of those picks. I think they both have an outside chance, but there's only one dude that's really going to shine this week and just put the hurt on everybody. And I'm not sure I picked him this year or not. I may have, but I think Anthony Barella is unbeatable at Lake Eureka this year.
Oh,
I got to be honest. I wouldn't mind losing to that pick.
I mean, he's got every shot you need out there, and he's playing, like we've said a million times, a different level this year than he ever has before. So,
agreed. I think a clear red for Lucas. Next pick.
Who you got, Ronnie? You want to go next? Want me to?
Go ahead.
All right. I'm going sleeper. A name that's come up already this show. Oh, boy. Ronnie gave me the look. A guy who can throw the stamp off of a disc. Has a little bit of problems putting it in the bucket. But I think he can throw him close enough here. He won't have to worry about it. Mr. Aaron Gossage.
Yeah,
I consider the goose too. Lucas, who you got?
I also consider the goose.
Good thing it was consideration.
But I considered him for a stink. So I can't wait till that happens. But let me tell you who I got this week.
Well, I'm glad you took him for a stink. He'll probably win.
No. I didn't take him. I said I considered him.
Oh.
But I will say, I got someone that I would say is probably having a down year. someone that we haven't really thought of as much this year after switching to a new company. Chris Clemens. I think he has one of his best tournaments of the year.
Well,
Right.
I hope you're right.
I'll take random things people say for 200, Alex. Chris Clemens.
What? He played very well here last year.
Yeah, when 2 of the rounds were at Northwest Black.
He only played well during his rounds at Lake Eureka.
Hey, I'm rooting for you. Well, I'm not rooting for you, but
rooting for him.
Rooting for Chris Clemens. I do like Chris Clemens.
Yeah.
You scared me because I thought you were going to step on one of my picks for a second, because I also have taken a guy who is having a down year, coming off probably the best year of his career when he won a major championship last year. I've decided to go with Corey Ellis as my.
Good one.
It's, long golf course. Guy throws it forever, putts it really good.
I think I'm getting 3 greens again. There's no way I'm losing this
well, honestly, that could be because it was between Clemens and Ellis. So, for me, just to make you feel better, Ronnie, about your pick.
Awesome.
Balls in your court there, big boy. What you got for a stink?
I really had a hard time finding a stink for this one. We've never seen 4 rounds here, so it was kind of a hard one to choose. But I'm going to go with a guy who just won a major championship in this town, but he won it at the course across the way at Northwoods Black. I think maybe he has a little bit of a letdown coming back to Emporia without getting to play that course. I'm going to go with Prezi, Mr. Fresno.
That's a tough pick, man, because we've said before he's one of those guys that we don't ever think's going to win, but he's always right there. He finds a way to scrap his way into it. So I'd like to say it's a good pick, but I don't think Presley will allow it to be a good pick.
Maybe not. I get the feeling I'm probably not going to be on Roadhouse watch, but Prezzi's a consistent dude, so it's certainly, but I had a hard time finding a really good one for this week.
Go ahead, Lucas, because I got the ballsiest pick of the year coming up.
Okay, yeah. I'm not on Roadhouse watch either. This dude has been playing pretty good this year. I just think he's going to struggle this week. He does throw quite a ways, but we're going to go with old Gavin Babcock.
That's another one of those dudes who he's having a heck of a year. So if he just doesn't play to his potential, or to play where he's played all year, right? But yeah. And I don't know that you're out of Roadhouse watch either. I wouldn't be so confident saying that.
I like my chances better than yours.
Well, I agree with that.
Guys, who won this tournament last year?
Cole.
Oh, boy.
You go with my boy?
I think you're the safest of the bunch.
I went Cole Riddall, and I think he's gonna.
I'm going to step out. I'm going to step out on a limb and say something that's going to be a unpopular opinion and a hot take. Cole Riddall's already won the only disc golf pro tour he will ever win.
I can't go that far.
I don't see what y'all see.
You think he's a Parker Welk, huh?
I do. I think he can throw it a long ways. I think he's inconsistent off the tee. I don't think he putts it near to the level of the best players in the world, except for a very, very small windows. He could pop up and win a tournament at some point. He's got enough talent where he could do that. I guess what I probably should have said is he's not going to be a consistent winner on the tour. I just don't see it with the kid. He's a nice enough kid, but I just don't think he's the superstar that we might have thought he was a year ago this week.
Fair enough. I still think he's a freak, and I'm a little worried, but not too worried.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think. First of all, Smitty, I don't think that's the ballsiest pick ever. I do think it's a little ballsy, but I also don't think Cole has played as well as I would have hoped him to play this year. But I still root for the kid, and I still think he's got tremendous talent. So I still think he has more wins in his future.
I don't know, man. Just look at the contemporaries near his age.
Well, that's true. There's some real freaks.
Like, it's getting hard every week to not just pick Gannon Burr.
Yeah. It's true.
You know? And Gannon Burr just turned, 18? Get out of here with that. And you have a bunch of just young dudes right around Cole's age that I think are frankly better. Now, they play a lot of events in a year. And I just don't think he's going to be a consistent winner on the Pro Tour. And it wouldn't surprise me if Ledgestone last year was the only event he ever wins. I mean, Matt Oram has won one Disc Golf Pro Tour event.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That is a very valid point.
It's making me cry a little bit, though. I love you, Cole.
And before this year, Anthony Varela had won 0. Right? I mean, they're hard to win, and you just don't fall into them.
Yeah, we just need an A/B switch for Cole. You know,
and qualifiers don't count.
No, the Silver Series are the Silver Series or whatever those are. We're talking about Elite Series. I'm talking about Elite Series events.
Me too.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is a hot take. What do you guys think? Listening. You think Cole was a flash in the pan? Is he done? He's just a kid still, but are the kids around him just superior? Let us know what you think. But, guys, we have one more thing to talk about, and that is our Survivor League 3.0. We have 4 people left. There's no colors on this. Smitty, what happened?
Well, Patsy got bailed out by Gannon Burr. Came in with that hot 12-down round after making her sweat her butt off all week. And, these other 3 guys went beast. Things are about to get interesting because they have used up multiple, all of them, I think, have used the big 5. I don't know who they have left.
Let me share my screen.
And we're moving to a little more unpredictable golf courses with Lake Eureka. We've got Idlewild coming up pretty quick. The World Championships is right down the road. It's getting a little bit harder as we go here. And as you can see, everybody's kind of taken the same group of 5. They've all taken the same group of 5 in one way or another.
Yep, one way or another. And now, so things are getting interesting right now. So this is where they're going to have to venture out.
We should probably refresh on the rules, though. There's a good chance they could all go out this week.
Yep, so let's talk about it.
What happens? What happens if they all take Colradolin?
Well, if they do that, then we sign them up immediately for psychiatric therapy. But after that, after Cole has missed the cut,
he's missing the cut now. God.
Well, I mean, who would be stunned? No. Should they all wash out? We're going to we'll split the pot 3 ways, and we're going to kick this thing off for
4 ways.
Number 4.
Yeah, so we got 4 ways.
4. 4. Excuse me, 4 ways. Excuse me, 4.
Yeah. If they all get eliminated. Woo!
Yeah. So, but what I thought was, what I remember is, let's say they all pick someone different. Whoever finishes the best out of those 4 gets the money. Do you like that? I thought we had mentioned that before.
Somewhere we discussed it at some point. I don't remember where.
I thought we decided to turn that down just because they didn't make it, right? So you can't, just because your dude finishes 16th and my dude finishes 19th, neither one of us got the top 15. We both lost. So nobody gets a title, by the way. If this thing ends up in a 4-way tie, nobody claims a title.
No, you do get a little bit of money as a consolation prize, but you're losers still.
I know how that feels.
Oh yeah, every freaking time. I know.
Misery loves company, boys.
Yeah, come on, hang out with me. All right, guys. Well, awesome show. Had a lot of fun as always. Any shout outs going into this next week?
Yeah, I got one. I got to thank everybody that had a hand in helping out at the brook both days. I no way I could have done it without everybody that helped out. Ronnie was out there both days helping clean up and do payout and get things set up. Chase, Boyd coming in clutch, running the second day so I could play. Anson brought us an extra water jug on Sunday. We drank 20 gallons of water after lunch on Sunday. So it was awesome to have that many people chip in and make sure we had a great event here in Wichita, which is quickly becoming my favorite normal disc golf tournament to run each year.
Wasn't there some like real tasty ice or something?
Oh, yeah. My guys down at Home City Ice hooked us up with probably 200 pounds of ice.
Whoa. It was needed, I'm sure. It was so hot, dude.
I filled all 4 jugs, clear full ice there at their place. I put 2 bags in a great big old Yeti cooler, another big 20-pound bag in a small cooler, and I brought 4 home in the back seat of my truck and filled up my freezers. So,
dang,
yeah, it was awesome, and they're willing to do it each week. So, or not each week, but each event. So
that's sweet.
All I go is hit them up. So that's awesome.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Oh, and all the people who VIP parked to pay for the porta potty, which I couldn't believe the line in and out of that thing. I don't know how we survived without that sucker out there. And, I don't know that anybody snuck in there and parked. I didn't police it. I think people just took care of it. And yeah, that was great.
I'm sure the trunks of the trees appreciated the fact that we had a porta potty out there. No, same. I mean, shout out, my guy Smitty for running the event. I'm, happy to be part of that team and bring that. And there's, maybe some stuff coming in the future for that event that's going to make it even better. He and I have already had some conversations about that. But more importantly, just being out there with everybody this weekend was fun. I got to talk to one of your buddies, Hudson, after the Sunday round, man. And the dude just, it's hard not to smile talking to that kid and him telling me about how great he did. And then watching Jackson, little JT, beat half the MPO field. And he's, comes up to our waist for the most part. So, yeah, it was a good time. Saw a ton of people out there. I think we ran 134 people through that tournament in 2 days. So, yeah, Millbrook was the story of the weekend for me, and it was a great time, man. It was a really good time being out there.
It's so cool to have people who haven't seen Millbrook Park or haven't seen it in 2 or 3 years to roll through there and just be like, dude, I can't believe the transformation this place has taken. So it's so fun to have that thing and just have pretty much free reign on whatever we want to do.
Yeah, man, it's so cool for it to be, we're lucky. Both of us live real close. I mean, I'm a couple minutes away. You're only, 5 or 10. And yeah, the transformation that course has done, and it's been in the ground close to
7 years
now.
7 years. That's possible.
But the last 2 or 3, like you said, there's a small group out there that has poured a lot of time, effort, money that league has built on its own through the donations of the players who play that league. And yeah, it's turned into in my favorite place to play in Wichita. And I think it might be the most played course in Wichita, and it's only going to get better. That's what's awesome. I mean, I was walking with a couple guys who hadn't played there in a long time this weekend. They're like, man, these cottonwoods just since last year are so much bigger. It's like, I can't imagine what it's going to look like 10 years from now when these cottonwoods are almost fully mature. This place is going to be, one of the best courses around.
Just to give you an idea of how much it's played, 22 discs in the pill that Mike pulled out today in a week and a half. 22 lost and found turned in.
You know what it's from? It's from that long grass.
I find most of them just in the fairway because a lot of times when people, when I'm out there by myself, I'm throwing 3, 4, 5, 6 shots every direction I can, and I just lost a really good felon last week. He was a good soldier.
And you mentioned it, Lucas, the transformation that just that tall grass has made for that park.
It's so cool.
I mean, it's like a totally different golf course.
It truly, like, honestly, it brings everything together, right? It makes it all kind of cohesive, because there was just that nothingness in that area. I mean, but a flood zone a lot of times.
Man, that wind comes up and that tall grass is intimidating on like 4 or 5 holes, and you're scared of it. It's great.
Yep.
The park's turned into a great golf course.
Yeah. Great work out there. And great work here tonight, boys. Great show. Let's go into our 19th hole, which is the best shot of the weekend. Tell us what you think. And hopefully we see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye now.
In the PDGA World Rankings right now.
Please welcome Albert Dam.
The crowd favorite, Mr. Bazooka himself, Albert Dam, 4-time Estonian national champion. And look at this. He's taking the home crowd. And there he is.